Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Easy Programming. I am Naveen Mishra and I'll continue teaching you how to write programs in C language. In my previous videos, I have covered the topics like loops, control flow statements, if else and switch case. We'll continue with that and we'll start with the next topic that is called array. So let's start with this. Generally in C language, if we want to declare a variable, what do we do? What do we do? Int a. Int is the data type and a is the variable. So this is the syntax and this is the example, right? After declaring a variable, a memory is allocated to your variable depending upon the size of your data type, for example 2 bytes or 4 bytes. Then the next step is we put the value in this variable, that is called initialization. We can either do a equals to 10 or implement scanf functions. Both of these methods are available or possible, using which you can initialize your variable and put the value inside the variable. Now to print the value of one variable, what will you do? Printf a equals to %d comma a, so a will be printed. Now this seems easy for one variable. If I ask you to do this for 2 or 3 variables, you will say it's okay, we can do that. But what about if I say I have to use 100 variables? Now declaring 100 variables, then putting the values in these 100 variables and then printing all these values will be a difficult task. So to help you in this, we have a topic named array or arrays. What is an array? So let's study this. These are the collection of homogeneous or similar type of data elements. As I told you, if I want to declare 100 variables, all the 100 variables will be of same data type, that is either int or float or double, but they cannot have the mixture of data type. You cannot have 20 integers, 30 characters and 50 float in 100 variable declarations. To do this, you have to differentiately do that by creating separate arrays for separate variables. Whenever you create an array, you have to put these square brackets. These square brackets are representation that this is an array. In C, in C++ or in Java or most of the programming languages follow this array brackets to represent the array has started. The arrays are static in size, that is if you have given the size in advance, that is 100, you cannot change them. So array is static in size and fixed in nature. When you declare an array, for example 100 variables will be allotted, 100 blocks of memory will be allotted to you starting from 0 and going to n-1 size, that is 99. So if you have declared an array of 100 variables, then 0 to 99 index numbers are allotted to you. If you declare 5 array, then 0 to 4. If you are declaring array size with 10, then 0 to 9 will be allocated to you. You can declare array of any data type, that is int, char or float. So you can use any one of these data types to declare an array. All the array elements will have same name but different index value. For example, if I have declared an array of a with 5 size, then a will be the name of all the 5 variables, but their index value will be different. For example, a0, a1, a2, a3 and a4. Now let's see the syntax of declaring an array in C and C++. So you have to put the data type here, that is int, char or float. Then array name, any legal name, x, y, z, arr, array, a, and then inside these square brackets you have to put the size. Make sure that your size is not left empty or your size should not be in negative. Both of these are not allowed while declaring an array. So let's start with example of array. Whenever you want to declare an array in C and C++ language, it should be done in 2 steps. So step 1, declare. So simply I have told you previously that data type, array name and size are the patterns that you have to follow to declare an array. Okay, once you declared an array, memory blocks are allotted to you, but to put the values in these array, you need to initialize your array, and that is the second step. How would you do that? You will put the array name, then index value, then equals to value. For example, a of 0 equals to 10 or a of 1 equals to 20. You can do this or you can use your scanf function. Scanf function will be like %d, comma, ampersand, a in round brackets, I bracket start semicolon or 0 semicolon. So both of these steps should be done simultaneously, and first of all you have to declare the array, and then in next step you have to initialize the array. Okay, for example, this is the example of declaration. So int a10, so an array of 0 to 9 will be created. You can say int, you can say float, you can say character, any data type of your choice. Once you do this, an array block similar to that will be created for you, starting from 0 and going to n minus 1 size, that is 9. So I have given the size 10, so 10 minus 1, 9 memory size will be allocated or created for you. Okay, now once you have declared an array, your second step should continue, that is you want to initialize your array. So if you want to initialize your array, you have three methods to do so. So array can be initialized by three ways. First method is static method during declaration. So as soon as you write this line int a5, you can put an equals to, and in curly braces you can put the values separated by the commas. So I have placed 5 values here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. If you do this, an array will be created to you like 0 to 4, and the first element will be placed at first position, second element will be placed at second position, and so on. So this first step will create this array for you. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. If you are using this method, then you can leave your array size brackets empty, because the compiler will automatically define this size based on the number of values passed by you. So here I have passed 3 values, 10, 20 and 30. So an array of A3 will be used by the compiler here, and an array of 3 will be created for you like this. Okay, now what if you do this? Like you have declared an array of 3 but putting values 4, 10, 20, 30, 40. As I have told you, if you declare an array of size 3, then array counting will start from 0 to n minus 1, that is 0 to 2. So there is no space, given allotted to put this value 40. If you do this, compiler will generate an error message like this one, too many initializers for A3. And if you put less values, let's say int a5, and you put only 3 values, 10, 20, 30, then third and fourth index value will be automatically set to 0. It will be automatically initialized to 0. So array will be created, but remaining elements will be set to 0. Okay, so make sure that you take care of these declaration methods and act according to that. Now method 1 is useful only if you know the size of your array or the elements of the array in advance. For example, if you roll a dice, you know that there is only 6 possibilities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can put these 6 elements inside your array. Or let's say you are creating an array of string for weeks, for weekdays, and weekdays start from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Or you are creating a string array for months like January, February, March, April, May, June. So for these, the first method is best suited, but most of the time you never know what is your value. So the second method is to put your values one by one. So for example, int a5, so you have declared an array a5 with 0 to 4 index values. You can put the values one by one, like a0 equals to 10, then in next line a1 equals to 20, a2 equals to 30, and so on. So this is the second method to put the values in your array. It will do the same task as we have explained earlier, like 5 index values will be created to you with the values placed in it. Okay, but method 2 is very lengthy and time consuming. Suppose we have an array of 500 size, then you will find it very hard or almost impossible to put all the values using this method. Okay, so it is not preferred way for higher memory sizes like 500 or 100. So the next method, third method is used, that is looping. You can put the scanf function inside your array, inside your loop, and reading the values from the user at runtime. So this is a preferred way to read the values from the array. So you can start a loop from 0 to n minus 1 size, and in the loop you can read the value using scanf. This is the best approach as a user enters the data by themselves. So I will prefer everyone to use this method to put the values in your array. Okay, how will you do that? So here we go. You have declared an array of 5. To start a loop, you are putting a variable I, You're printing a message to the user that enter 5 elements in the array, and you start your loop from I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, and inside the loop you have used scanf. But in scanf we have used this ampersand a of I. So initially I is set to 0, so a of 0. So first scanf will put the value in a of 0. Then I is incremented by 1 and it I sets to 1. So next time scanf will put the value in a1 and so on a2 and then so on a3, a4 and so on. But make sure that two problems are not put by you. For example, you always start an array loop from 0, okay, because we know that your array starts from 0. So you cannot start you cannot start an array from 1. If you do so, your 0th element will be set to 0, and you cannot set the condition less than equals to 5. You always put it n minus 1. So here my n is 5, the size is 5, so 5 minus 1 4. Less than 5 will execute the loop to 4 only. So make sure that an array loop starts from 0 and goes to n minus 1 size 5. Okay, now let's see the program. I have written this program for you guys. Okay, now I am telling you that you should put a value inside your array like 5, 50 or 100. It's better if I can ask the size from the user at runtime. So initially here I have asked the user to enter the size of the array in the scanf. Once I have the value of n like 10, 15, 20, whatever user asks, then I can declare my array with that size. This is a better approach and almost dynamic approach for the arrays. Once I have declared an array, I have started my loop from 0 to n, and inside this loop I have put a scanf. So suppose user have placed size 5, so this loop will execute 5 times and 5 values will be placed using scanf. And in the next step I have printed all this array. Again I have started the loop from 0 to n minus 1 and printed all the values. Most of my students ask that why you are using two loops. They say that we can put this scanf and printf inside one loop and save space for the another for loop. The thing is, I have told you earlier that always think of your program in 3 parts: input, logic and output. So here I am inputting my values in the array, and here I am displaying my values in the array. Because there is no logic inside this program, I am just practicing the array. And if I execute this program, this will be my output. So here enter the size of array. I have placed value 5. 5 values are placed by me and these are printed by the this next for loop. So these are the this is how the array works. Now we'll start with some programs for arrays. So these are the programs that you should do. I'll help you write some programs, and the remaining programs you can do it by yourself. Okay, so these are the programs we have to do. So let's start with first program, that is program to find the reverse of the array. Just a second, let me open the developers for me. Control N for new program. I'll start typing here hash include stdio.h. I'll start my main function. Then I'll declare an array int a5 initially. I'll not put too much values to make it shorter for the video. So 5 and I, and then I'll say printf enter 5 elements in the array. So I'll start a loop for I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Then I'll use scanf %d comma and a of I. Now up to this is my input part. Okay, and then I will print the loop printf /n elements in the array are. I'll start the loop again, so I'll copy it and paste it here, and I will replace my scanf with printf, and I'll place a /n here, and instead of ampersand a, I'll simply say a of I. Now to print the reverse of the array, I'll say printf /n reverse of the array elements are, slash n. I'll put the loop again. I'll replace it with printf, and I'll remove this ampersand. I'll put a slash n here. Now if I want to execute the reverse of my loop, I have to start my loop in the reverse order. So I'll have to change some things here. As I know my array is allocated from 0 to 4, I'll start my I from 4 and I'll continue my loop until I reach 0 and I is decremented by 1. Let me give the heading of the program first. Program to print the array in reverse order. I'll save this program, reverse array.cpp, and I'll execute or compile my program. There you go. It asks me for 5 elements. I'll say 10, 20, 30, 40. There it is, elements in the array in a simple manner, 10 to 50, and I'll in the reverse array 50 to 10. You can complicate this program as much as you like. Some colleges or some teachers prefer like this, that define the size in advance using a macro. So define capital size 100, and then instead of doing this they say size and ask the size from the user. Printf, enter the size of the array, and they do this scanf %d comma and n, and then instead of pressing 5 they say %d comma n, and they start the loop. They continue the loop up to n. So you can do this as well. Okay, you can complicate the things more. Okay, let's try to run this program now. Okay, semicolon was not placed. I have not declared an element of n. Now I'll say 6. I'll put 6 elements. Just a second, I have to start my loop to n minus 1. Okay, let me try it again. 6, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. There you go, it works fine. Now what I can do is I can show them the position that we're present on which they are putting the element. So I'll say element for %d comma I. During print I can print the value like this one, printf slash an index, then slash d value, and then I can print like this one, slash n %d slash t %d. This will print the index value as well, and I can do the same here as well. Okay, so let me try that again. So I say for easiness purpose 6. So element for 0 location 10, 20, 10, 30, 50, 60, 70, and so on. So the array will be printed in this way. So this is a better approach to print the values, but I'll keep it simple for you guys. I will not complicate things for you. Okay, let me try that again. I'll say 3 elements. So I'll say 20, 50, and 60. There you go. Okay, so this is the program to find the reverse of the array. Let's see what was our next program. To find the sum and average of array. Okay, so I'll save my time and I'll copy this code into the new file and save it with sum average array.cpp, and I will not require these lines now. I'll put a variable sum and avg variables to calculate the sum and average, and sum equals to 0, and during the printf I'll keep on adding my value, that sum is equals to sum plus a of I. Inside this loop this will keep on adding the value of ai with my sum value, and at the end of the loop I can say average is equals to sum divided by the size was n, and I can print f slash n sum of array elements equals to, just a second, sum of array elements equals to %d comma sum, and in the next printf I can say average of array elements is comma a. Okay, so let's try to compile and run this program. Okay, I'll say 5, I'll put my element, and there you go, 1 plus 2, this 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 4 10, 10 plus 5 15, so 15 is there, and you divide 15 by 5, 15 by 5 equals to 3, so it works fine here. Okay, so this is a program to find the sum and average of the array. I'll do another program for you guys. The program was to find the greatest in the array. So what I'll do, I'll copy this code once again and I'll save it. The greatest in array dot cpp, and I'll change my sum variable to great. Instead of simply adding the values, what I'll do, I'll check it. I'll compare my value great with each element of array, and if I find an element greater than the given value of grade, I'll replace my grade value with that value, and doing so at the end of the loop my grade variable will contain the greatest element, and I can print this value here to you. I don't need this line, and I'll say array elements is this. So let's compile and run this file. 5 10 20 50 30 40, and it prints 0. Let me check. Grade greater than a 0, so nothing will be 0 greater than 10. 0 will not be greater with anything, so I'll replace it like a of I is greater than grade. Let's try to compile and run this program again. 5 10 20 60 30 40. Now okay, now it prints fine. The test of array elements equals to 60. If you want to print their index value, you can do this by having a location variable and put the I value here. Greatest of array elements is equals to %d and placed at location %d I, so loc represents location here, and I have to declare my variable here, so I'll say comma loc. Let's try to compile and run my program now, and I'll say 5 10 20 90. Okay, so it prints the location as well, that is 2. So that's enough by me. I have written 3 programs for you guys. You can complete the rest of programs by yourself, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comments. Thank you very much for viewing my YouTube videos. Keep on subscribing and sharing my YouTube videos. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Cheers.